Oh.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Today we have a very special guest. He is a veteran Navy officer from India. I met him just a month back. It's a mesmerizing meeting, and we are actually working. And he is heading a very important unit that is needed for your body every day, salt. Geetaji will introduce, and I just welcome him and his team if they are participating. And this is a very fruitful interaction, and I'm sure you will learn a lot from this presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Give me one second. Yes, we would like to thank you for coming, Commodore Kamlesh Kumarji, to India Home, a senior center. Kamlesh Kumarji has a distinguished track record, selfless service to the nation by serving in the Indian Navy for over 31 years. His career is started with a saga of glories and medallion of great achievements. A professional of a very high standards, known for simplicity, honesty, truthfulness, and a go-getter attitude, decided to shift gear from white uniform of the Navy to the challenging job of Commodore of 2 units, Hindustan Salts Limited and Sambar Salts Limited in August 2020. His reluctantness and dedication and love for the development of nations saw him transform these 2 units from, into large profit-making units within 9 months of his taking over. Both units have turned around, had best turnovers and best profits in last 20 years. The company had recently, we heard company has recently launched 6 new products. Yes, welcome, Kamleshji. Welcome to our India Home. And yes, it's all yours now.
Thank you, Geetaji, for those lovely words. I hope you all can hear me. Should I be a little more loud, or is it fine?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. So, Geetaji, at the outset, I must thank you for those lovely words. Those, sounded very nice being heard, being, spoken by you. I'm grateful to Dr. Srinivas Rao. I would say it was a very lucky meeting on LinkedIn, where he just hooked on and we exchanged notes, and then we got to meet each other. So, Dr. Rao, so very grateful to you for being so humble, being so kind, coming and educating us. And I'm sure in coming days you are going to be mentoring and guiding us. So very grateful for all that you have done and all that we expect out of you in helping us go ahead. Today's part was actually something which was proposed by Dr. Rao. He said that something which should be told to India Home, and it's an honor and privilege for me to address this August audience and share whatever little I know, which should benefit each one of you. Generally, most of us are into some work or businesses, and often these days, word is sustainable business management. We also know we have to take environment along. We must do our businesses in tune with the environment. So I say that the charity begins at home, and we have a business to do with our body. If we can manage our body, the 3 kingdoms of body well, we can manage our business well outside. And if we keep our body in tune with nature, so we can keep the Mother Earth, the nature, all that in tune. When I say 3 kingdoms, we all look after. One is the physical world, one is a mental world, and one is a spiritual world. I was very happy to see the last 30 seconds that there was a yoga instructor who was, pumping you all with all his happiness. So that was for the physical world. a little bit of mental and spiritual world we do through meditation. But today I am here to address one important part, very important part of our physical world, and that is salt. Uh, Generally, it's a commodity not much talked about. It's a commodity which is, readily available. So nobody cares much. Anything salty you eat, less salty, more salty, you continue to eat. We don't care what is it, how does it affect us, where does it come from, can it be better, is it natural, is it in tune with the nature, is it able to manage my inner systems well. So answer some of these queries. There are all these queries I am here. So to start, I have got some slides in which I'll tell you who am I in terms of the company that I run. So today's basic discussion should be on salt and health. And prior that, I'll just introduce my company. Hindustan Salts Limited, central government PSU. It's a public sector utility. It is owned by Government of India. And we also have a subsidiary company called Sambar Salts Limited. So these two companies I look after as chairman and managing director. Beg your pardon, sir? Yeah. So these two companies I look after as chairman and managing director. Basically, the salt works since British era started here somewhere in the 18th century. We could move to next slide. Yeah. So just to give you a little history to the salt, salt has been a requirement for humanity since the time humanity is known to exist any kind of civilization. And the first business that was started in the world over, as whatever the history can tell, is the business of salt. Reason was that everyone on this earth needed salt. Some were living on the coastal areas, somewhere in the hinterland. So the salt has to be transported from the coastal to the hinterland, and it was a requirement for the human survival because water and air was there. So salt was something which was the first item to be transacted between humanity or between human beings. So this is first business model that started with salt. Little world, we all say, we earn and we all work and earn salary. The word salary came from salt only. Initially, whatever one used to work used to be paid in terms of salt. There is a saying goes that this man is worth his salt. Basically, that was that in olden days, slaves used to be sold in terms of amount of weight they had, an equivalent amount of salt used to be given. So salt, salary, and the humanity, these have been going. Until the time humanity exists, salt would exist. So that is the importance of this salt, that without this, we cannot stay even for a day. 3 meals, 3 tablets have to take salt. Anything else is not that important than salt. So I say after air and water, the third ingredient which is important to us is salt. So we all cry a lot about, air pollution, water pollution, but rarely you get to hear people talking about salt pollution or the kind of salt that you eat and what should it be. So this company of mine, Hindustan Salts Limited, which has been working since British era. In British era, this place in India was a colony that we all know, and under colonial time, that salt was taxed. So in way back in 1840s, cost of 40 kgs of salt was equivalent to 40 kgs of silver. That is recorded in our history. I mean, that important salt was. So since those times, Sambar Salt Limited, Khadagora and Mandi, these 3 places, Britishers have been making salt and it in the unified kingdom of Hindustan, that was Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. All these were a part of India. All over these places, salt used to be sold, produced in India and sold there, and they all were taxed. So this particular company was under Britishers then. And after independence, there was salt department of Government of India which took over this. And that salt department got converted into Hindustan Salts Limited, a central PSU, which is running the salt of the country as of now. However, a lot has been privatized, wherein a lot of private players have come. You would have heard of Tata Salts and things who have come into the play. But still the core business of salt is done by us. On our board, we have a member called Salt Commissioner who controls the complete salt requirement of the country and knows where what kind of production happens. So that's our little background. We operate from the state of Rajasthan, where there's a lake called Sambhal Lake. Also from the state of Gujarat, where we have got little run of Kutch, and Himachal Pradesh, where we have got a place called Mandi and Uttarakhand. This what you see on screen is Sambhal Lake. It's a huge lake, about 90 square mile big. Complete lake is saline. That means the fresh water, the fresh rainwater comes in. It goes in by capillary action, it goes in. And thereafter the water gets salinated, becomes saline of drying. And through solar evaporation, this water gets saltier and saltier. And then we have a process where we convert this pristine rainwater into salt. This particular lake, you can see it is in the desert. So there are no environmental pollutions in terms of industrial pollution, sewage pollution, plastic microparticles. These are not there. So the salt that comes out is one of the best. So what you see here is that lake. Next, the location of this lake is shown on our next slide. Where we have brought it out that in India, there's a state called Rajasthan. And in the center of Rajasthan, next to Jaipur, about 84 kilometers away, is this lake, whose area I just said is 90 square miles. It is largest inland saltwater lake of our country. Next. This lake is known for producing a very high quality salt. Now, what makes it high quality is basically that this is the place where the salt that you get is alkalized. When we say alkalized, the salt per se, what we get in our laboratory, NaCl, is supposed to have a pH of 7, and it's called neutral. Anything below 7 is called acidic, and anything higher than 7 is called basic. So gives us a salt here which is alkalized, whose pH is 9 plus 9, 9.5. That kind of pH of salt we get from this lake. It is a natural product which is alkalized. In addition, it has got about 54 rare minerals, what we call micronutrients. All of them are edible, which are available in this. This particular lake, Government of India has declared it as an eco-sensitive zone, and it is included Ramsar site international importance, and so it is being maintained. This place is also, you have seen a photograph, home to thousands of flamingos who come during winters for winter breeding from Central Asia to this place, and they stay here for 3 to 4 months. Those months are September till March, and as we talk March month, they start going back again. Next slide. Whilst we do this, before we go further, I would like to tell you the importance of salt. It is a basic and fundamental component of all living beings. Like in the sense, if you go into human body, different parts have got different organs, tissues. When we go to a small cell, every cell of our body has got saline water. Intercellular spaces also have got saline water. The blood vessels have got a place which we say where there are no blood vessels is our nerves. Now, the nerves also, the connectivity of nerves takes place by sodium and calcium, or by the electrolytes. The electrical signals pass through there. There also require salt. So actually, if you see, our entire body inside thrives in an environment which is saline. And this environment, saline, is similar to the environment outside. I'd like to that if we say the earth is a macrocosm, wherein earth has got about 71% of seawater and 29% of land. In our way, we say that seawater is seawater, and what is land, we call them as Panch Tattva, what creates our human body. When we come to human body, inside our body also, we have got 71% of saline water and 29% of normal things, what constitutes our bones and other things. That is the kind of, so we are a replica of what is there on earth internally. It is distributed in different parts of the body. So this particular salt which regulates, which is the basic fluid on which the entire body sustains, the entire nervous system, the muscular system functions. The chloride ions, they serve as an important electrolyte, as I told you. They regulate the pH value and the pressure of our blood. They also maintain electrolyte balance in the body. So this particular important thing is all controlled by salt and the micronutrients which are a part of salt. Next slide. What I said before, that earth and human body, they are quite synonymous. 70%, 30% roughly, or 71, 29 to be precise. The blood fluid and the seawater. Now you will get to know that the blood has got same component as seawater has. To name, it's sodium, chloride, magnesium, sulfide, calcium, and potassium. These are found in the seawater, and these are the main constituents of human blood, which runs throughout our system. Now, the salinity part of the body fluid and salinity of sea, they also have commonality. What is the salinity of sea? Same is the salinity of body. If you combine the whole thing, like roughly the salinity outside is about 35 per 1,000, 35 parts per 1,000. If you see, blood could be nine parts, other parts a little higher, but sum total of saline environment or the saline world inside is somewhat similar in salinity to what is there in the sea. So this to give you that how the nature has created something inside us which is akin to what exists on earth. With this, we move to the next slide. A little thing on functions of sodium. It helps our cells uptake of nutrients and water. It helps muscles to contract, and all this comes from salt. It helps our nerves to carry messages between the brain and the body, balances our body's fluid, regulates the blood pressure. So additionally, potassium, magnesium, and the folic acid helps us in maintaining a healthy nervous system. And all this is taken from the salt that we eat. Next. Now, the saline water in the human body, if you see, the brain has about 83%, kidney has about 3%, lungs 85%, blood 94%, muscles 75%, heart 75%, eyes 95%, and bones and all that have lesser. So that is how this entire kingdom is distributed. And this is how this saline water in our body is in different parts. Now, here I would like to tell you that if you want your entire body to be healthy, to be happy, all that you have to ensure that the 71% of kingdom, which is covered by salt, is looked after well. How do you look after well? By ensuring that you eat natural salt, best salt, which does not have any contaminants, which is as good as nature can give you. And in that case, you are ensuring that the health of all these, what is shown on the slide, is maintained to the level of percentage which are there. Rest everything else is secondary. So this is something that we need to understand, that this is how salt intake of our in every meal impacts every part of our body. Unfortunately, people do not think about it. They do not have time to think about it, and they do not ensure that having thought about it, they ingest correct kind of salt. And the correct kind of salt is nothing but organic salt. Next one. those of us who like to have a little more reasoning, basically the approximate ionic composition of the body, H2O compartments, you'll find that 142 cations, that is sodium, is the one that is almost 102 molecules per liter, moles per liter, and rest all are less in number. You have the main is sodium here, then is potassium. As you come down, so out of 154 cations, 146 is formed by sodium and potassium, which are part of your salt. Magnesium is also a part of your salt. When you come to anions, chlorine per se is 114, and HCO3, which is the alkalized part, that together makes it 148. So out of 154 here, anions, 148 is here. So only by looking at or ensuring that your sodium, potassium, calcium, and carbonate is fine, the 80-90% of your inside kingdom is looked after. So this is in the cations and anions in a chemical formula type, so that you feel convinced that what I'm saying is quite important and has been broken down into every mineral, major minerals which are required in the body. Next slide, please. Now we come to this is salt, and this salt is the one which is most organic. Reasons for this salt being organic is that normally all across the world, 90% or more than 90% people take or ingest salt which is made from seawater, marine salt. Now, often, as I said, that we do not think much about salt. What you find that entire marine environment is polluted with three ingredients. Is industrial waste, because most of the industries are on the seashores. Next is the sewage waste. Most places, the treated or untreated, whatever sewage is thrown, it goes into sea. And third is, of late, for last 30-40 years, as this plastic thing has come, the plastic pollution has also gone into sea. And the microparticles of plastics have formed to be, or they are now as a part of the same seawater is taken by an industry for making salt. Now, there are no methods which can segregate three wastes, these three wastes that I talk about: industrial waste, the sewage waste, and the microparticles of plastics. So any salt that you take, and if you do its microanalysis, you have all these three wastes available in adequate quantity. Now, when these salts are brought to refineries, may it be a vacuum evaporized, which is the best refineries in the world, or it could be a mechanical refinery. All these, they get washed, but these cannot be segregated because they need to be done chemically into a laboratory, which nobody can do. Now, after the refined salt comes, we all want a free flow salt. We don't want the salts to be, it's hydroscopic. We don't want the salts to skip to each other. So they are treated with something called anti-caking agent. Each grain of salt is coated with ferrocyanide, which is anti-caking agent, and different food may be facile. We all say it's a permissible edible thing. It is not a natural thing, but to make it free flow, they have called it permissible edible. So each salt is coated with this. On top of that, you want to make it iodized. So you have a synthetic chemical called iodine, which is sprayed on it to 30 ppm. So the salt that you ingest comes with 5 dangerous things. One is your iodine, which is synthetic, which is in a chemical form. Second is your anti-caking agent, which is not required by your body. And 3 wastes that I talked about: sewage waste, plastic microparticles, and the industrial waste. This is an ingredient of all the salts world over. Best of the salts. For USA, you get Morton salts. If you carry out a thing, it's same. In India, best salt is Tata salt. If you check, it has got the same thing. Because the sea is common, the same water flows all over the place, is the salt that we all share. And is the common pollution that we all share. So what is the solution to all this? What do we do in a world like this? Well, we have a solution wherein we are the only ones in the world who has a lake which is called Samba Lake, 90 square mile, which produces the best salt in the world. Reason is it's organic salt. We do not treat our salt into any refinery. And space that I talked about, there are no industries here. There are no sewage waste. There are no plastic microparticles here. Additionally, the Mother Nature has endowed these salt of ours with 54 rare minerals which are not available in the sea salt. On top of it, it's alkalized. When I say alkalized, its pH is 9.5. Any one of you can Google or check that anything which is alkalized and goes to body, it's called elixir. Our body grows alkalized. If you put something acidic, you will have acidity, and if the body starts sinking, it starts dying, it starts having problem. All the salt we ingest, its pH outside is less than 7. It's 6.8, 6.9. Any salt you check, its pH. So you're eating every day a salt which is acidic in nature, and now that gives you acidity. The doctor, he treats you acidity, but he never.
We can't hear you now. So.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So I'm saying that every day what we eat is a salt which is not neutral. It is acidic in nature, and it makes our entire system acidic. So most of us have got acidity problem. Now the salt that we have, which is not our creation, it's a creation of Almighty. It's a nature's creation. That is alkalized salt. NaCl 88 plus, laden with 54 of the. Go to the next slide. These are some of the lake brine, how they are stored. This is the reservoir where we put the water. And this is sun-dried over 9 to 10 months. Okay. So as the sun drying takes place, the entire thing, the salinity becomes better and better. And you can see the salt pans, their colors are different. Reasons are that in these salt pans, we also have introduced certain algae which ensures the salt gets naturally iodized. We have got algae which is contained, and it iodizes it with a natural, not a synthetic, natural iodine. So our salt is naturally iodized to 8 ppm. It's a natural iodine. So that's how you find those colors. The pinkish looking, our salt is also a little pink, little whitish. It gives a different tinge to our salt. Next one. Here you can see different fields, different colors. It's as our salt is processed, and with the time over 9 months, the water color changes, and the salt finally what comes out you see on the top, the pink water. From there we get the alkali salt, which is all the creation of nature, but managed by us in a nice way. There are artisans who do particular creation of this salt in a particular laid down manner. Next one. This is a little sunset. This place you get sunset and sunrise, both are fine. From the tourist point of view, we always tell people come over. We maintain a good restaurant. I was happy to keep out there. So especially in the winter months, if you're coming to India, you must make it a point to stay with us for 2-3 days. We have about 40 resorts come restaurant here. So there you could come and stay and spend time and see this salt making, and also enjoy this 90 square mile. We also have little trains, those what do you call small gauge, meter gauge, small trains which move there, and little tourism is also there, salt tourism. So they just to tell you that this is how the sun drying happens, and drying over to 12 months, we produce our salt. We call our salt babies. A baby takes 9 months to be born. Our salt also is, sun dried, sun scorched, loved by us. And after 9 months, we deliver our salt, which is best in the world. Next. Again, just to show you that this is how our salt pans look. One is a greenish, one is all these are algae which are adding its goodness and value to the salt. Just to show you how picturesque and nice these are. Next one. our salt are in the form of crystal. And we have put a lady's hand because we say that, the maximum love comes from the hands of our ladies. So most of the extraction work by our ladies. So not only the Mother Earth gives the love, the ladies who also create, they take it out lovingly and they want people to eat not only the salt, but the salt filled with their love. And so that they get cured, they become better, they become happier. So this is how our salt looks. It's a crystal and we sell them as crystal. We don't want to crush them. At home, you can crush them and eat them. And they are amazing. And we call them elixir. We call them sehat ka namak in Hindi, salt for health. Next. Quotation of our salt, you see these are salt trains. What you see, nice looking ones, small mini trains. Each of these carry about 10-20 tons. So we have our old trains. So these trains go to each place, pick up this salt, bring it to our stores. So it's a nice play also that happens. People, they extract salt, put it in the train, comes. We maintain a rail line of over 90 kilometers in our lake, which is both meter gauge, small gauge, and that is used for transportation of salt all throughout the year. Next. These are the salt stores. From the train, it's being disembarked and put in the stores in open sun. So all these trains are being evacuated. Next one. This is the salt, we have named it Shar, K-S-H-A-R. So in Sanskrit, alkalize is called, or alkaline is called Shar, and anything which is acidic is called Aml. So our salt's name is a brand that we have. It's available on Amazon also. We will be talking about it. We have also recently got FDA certification. In case any one of you is keen, we are ready to send it to you. That part will talk. But basically, just to know, this is the name of our salt, Shar salt. It comes as pink also. It comes as white also. And this is our packaging in which we sell this salt. Next one. This is again a picturesque graph of our train through the waters, and nice looking shadow you can see. This is a part of our lake. We call it most positive and rare salt of India. Next one. So it's a naturally extracted salt from certain specific portions of our lake in Jaipur. And as I told you, filled with numerous therapeutic values, numerous natural values, and all goodness. I haven't found anything wrong or anything negative in these salts. Next. Now, certain features which are shown here is basically bringing out, it has got high alkalinity, that's about 8.5 to 9.5. It is rich in about 54 minerals. It is sun-dried for 9 months. It is naturally iodized. We have used certain algae to ensure that no synthetic iodine goes into it. It's a natural iodine put, and it possesses therapeutic values which are numerous, which we'll talk about later. So it is, as I said, extracted from specific algae-rich sections of our Samba Lake, sun-dried for 9 to 12 months, packaged. We have it, some of them in powder, some in crystal. We prefer crystal form. Now, using this salt, we also make something called black salt. And black salt that we make has got a process which will show you, and that black salt is even better than this salt, which we'll talk about a little later. We also are the only owners of Himalayan rock salt in the country. India possesses 120 million tons of Himalayan rock salt. Hindustan Salts Limited is the one which all this. And our rock salt, again, are best in the world. It is better than the pink salt that you buy from Pakistan. Reasons are simple, that the salt that you get from Pakistan, those pink salts, which is in fad, especially in US, people buy those rock salt, Himalayan rock salt, pink salt. I must tell you the pitfalls of it. Those are as extracted from the mines and brought to you. All those salts, anytime you can just dissolve them in a grocery, in a clay or glass sea and leave it for some time, and find that a thick layer of sediments will settle down. Those are heavy metals and insolubles which are not supposed to be eaten. So all the salt that those of you who eat those Himalayan pink salt, try this at home and see, dissolve them and see what sits there. That is something which is harmful for you. Though the Himalayan rock salt has got a lot of micronutrients which are good, but it is not worthy to have them with those impurities and heavy metals. Those are not segregated. So are Himalayan rock salt better? All the Himalayan rock salt that we mine, we dissolve them completely. We make them into water. We take out all the insolubilities from there. Again, we sun dry them. And our Himalayan rock salt is more white than snow. When you look at our salt, it's more white than snow and it's soft. So that is what we sell as Shar Himalayan rock salt, which is also a nice product of ours, not known to many people, but the best rock in the world. Next one. This we have talked about, already have covered this. We could move to the next one. Now, when I talk about benefits, I would simply say that, as I told you before, that 71% of your kingdom in the inside your is filled with saline water. Just if you recollect or remember, anybody who falls sick becomes unconscious. You go to a doctor. What does the doctor give you first? A drip on saline water. Most of you know that. Why? Reason is that saline water is the only one which can get into every cell, energize every cell, and bring you back to life. So you must know that the saline water, what salinity and what salt it contains, is the best to every cell of my body. Am I managing every cell of my body and the intercellular space well or not? Am I watching my salt or not? Why? Because it boosts my immunity. It ensures the goodness and health of my 71% kingdom. It is responsible for my neurological benefits. It maintains electrolyte balance in my body. It prevents heartburns, bloating, etc. It regulates my acidity. The salt that we produce, since it is alkalized in nature, anybody who eats cannot have acidity. Even if you overeat, do whatever, you can never have acidity. Those of us who are suffering from acidity for years, you start eating it, naturally you get cured. So it's a nature's cure for acidity. It's a nature's cure for people who have got hypertension. If you eat this salt, there is no stoppage. You can eat as much as you want, and your hypertension gets taken care of. So these are the benefits of a natural salt, because anything from nature, it does not harm us. If you take a little more, it gets excreted, it gets, through our excretion, or it goes through our sweat, but it doesn't harm you any, because it's all filled with goodness. So these are a few benefits. We can move to the next slide. Yeah, here I was talking about Shar black salt. It is prepared by making by adding natural to the lake. It is produced in a very controlled environment and is fired in an earthen pot using upla. Upla is those cow dungs, and charcoal for 24 to 48 hours at 700 to 800 degrees Celsius. So this salt is mixed with trifla. Trifla is basically amla, beheda, and hirar, along with babul bark. So these we mix into it, and then we boil it for 48 hours. And it is naturally embedded with iodine, pH, and it increases to 10.5. So this black salt is utilized all across the world by Ayurveda world. This salt is the only one which is good enough to be used for medicine Ayurveda. So everybody, all Ayurvedic doctors, they buy it from us and they use this salt. There is also good salt for as a laxative. Anyone suffering from constipation, if you eat a little bit of this, next day morning, one has a very clear motion. So, and it's all a natural way, nothing else. So it has got laxative value, all the goodness about the previous salt. Additionally, its pH is 10.5, so it makes it better elixir. We could move to the next slide. This is a process, a little video clip will show you how the black salt is made. These are earthen pots. What we use are those uplas, cow dung is only natural thing, natural fuel. This is the same char salt that we talked about. That is charged about 40 kg of these salts are put into these earthen pots. And then with 4 kg of tripla. The ratio is 10:4. Then we pack all these. The entire salt becomes red hot, like iron red hot. The method of mixing them in a regular way. Now, steady, all these earthen pots are taken out, they are broken, they cannot be reused. And what you will get is a black salt, which is, as strong as rock. They are broken with those hammers. And there is shining black salt that you get, which is filled with therapeutic values. We don't want to treat them through any industry. It could be done through industry, but to maintain its natural way, we prepare them in a natural way. And these are again filled with numerous therapeutic values. Next one. Certain more benefits: reduces acidity, heartburns, bloating. It is rich in calcium, iron, magnesium, dissolves fat, treats iron deficiency because the salt rich in iron, and it also has got ascorbic acid, which is required to absorb iron. All these are natural part of it. It relieves intestinal trouble and acts as a natural laxative. In addition, what needs to be noted is all these salt that I'm talking about, as they are high in pH. So high in pH, basically, if you go to chemical way, it has got higher number of hydroxide ions. And these days, whatever we eat, most of us have got a lot of free radical problem in our body. So these additional OH ions ensure that all free radicals are every day cleansed, which ensures that, or which proves that this salt also becomes anti-cancerous, because free radicals are the ones which create cancer in our body. So when you eat a salt which on a daily basis flushes out all the free radicals that is created, so never ever you get cancer. So we call our salt anti-cancerous also, because of the high alkalinity. Next one. This we have talked about uniqueness of our salt. This is known to all of us, properties, benefits. Next one we could move to. We have got a certificate which is for the it's organic salt. So organic certificate, we do not treat anything. So there is a certification given by government that there is only certified organic salt. Next one. This is the FDA registration that we have got, which gives us access in case anybody is keen in buying across in US, we can supply it to them. Next one. There is a little video on Shar.
The virtues of Sambar Lake have been spoken of since time immemorial. It finds mention even in the Mahabharata. It stretches 35 kilometers and is the largest inland salt lake in India. It is a sight to behold, with thousands of pink flamingos flocking to it, because they know that it is rich in specialized algae and bacteria. And what originates from it is truly a one-of-a-kind, priceless salt. Shar Lake Salt. Not only does this pretty in pink crystal lake salt boast of unique looks, but also of unique algae. And do note that it comes from only a very limited section of the lake. These beautiful salt crystals are sun-dried for 9 to 12 months. making Shar Lake salt rare, pure, and natural. Over 54 minerals, naturally embedded iodine, and high alkalinity makes Shar Lake salt therapeutic as much as it's tasty. Add to it being the most alkaline salt in the market, with an impressive pH level of around 9.5. Now, how does a high pH level help your body? A salt with a high pH level provides the perfect balance of acidity and alkalinity and ensures a smooth function of the body. But be sure to not confuse the pink crystals of the lake salt with rock salt. Rock salt, more commonly known as Sendha Namak, obtained from mines, may have the impurities of its source, rocks. Shar Lake salt is not only pure and mineral rich with perfect salinity, but also boasts of high alkalinity and countless health benefits. So Shar Lake salt brings more to the table than just flavor. It boosts immunity, it aids in digestion and prevents bloating. It regulates acidity, eases heartburn and maintains electrolyte balance. Shar Lake salt adds the perfect dose of positivity and flavor in every dish. Make Shar a part of your everyday meals. A product of Hindustan Salts Limited.
I will only say that aim of my this presentation was not to give an advertisement of our salt, but it was just to inform the Indian home community about the importance of salt in our life. And since I have created this particular query that salt is important, you must eat the best salt. So I've given you one solution, that we in our company have a solution which is a natural salt. In different places, there could be better solutions also, which I'm not aware of. But anywhere that you take salt, please ensure that you eat best salt. The sources could be anywhere. Ensure that they are alkalized, they are not acidic. Please ensure that they have got complete certification. If you ensure that, you be assured that your 70 to 80% of your inner health, the management of your physical body is very well looked after. Don't worry much about your protein, carb, fat, and those micronutrients. If you have looked after your salt, you will be healthy. Rest everything will be taken care of. But if you take care of all those minor things, your zinc, your manganese, and other things, and don't take care of your salt, you will still be unhealthy throughout your life. So my main aim was to put a little impulse, a little thought in your mind, to think about salt and eat them in a very responsible way. So with that, I have finished. If any one of you have any queries, I'll be more than happy to answer. But before I finish, I would like to thank Dr. Srinivas, because after he came, because of his such a huge knowledge and he being a scientist, he helped us find a plant called Salicornia in our Sambhal lake, which we have started extracting green salt from it, which is a big fat in US. And close to 12 kgs of green salt we have created. It's undergoing toxicology, then the nutritional test. In a matter of a month or so, we'll be in a condition to sell and export green salt also, which gets added to our kitty as a natural salt and as an alternative for people who want to eat less salt and yet want to have salty things. So I'd like to thank Dr. Srinivas for adding one more item in our natural kitty in terms of Salicornia green salt, and the company remains quite indebted to him for this.
Too many salt. Which one is the best for everyday life?
Shar, white or pink. Whereas I would say in your kitty, in your menu, you must have Shar black. 1 kg will look after the entire year, especially for your garnishing, for your salad and other things. You can use Shar black, which is very powerful, and a little bit, one little tinge is good enough for the day. So all the lassis that you make or any kind of things that you make, in that you could use them. But for normal cooking, crystal salt shower is the best. As of now, as I know, somebody else who's into salt might recommend and let you know something. But I would only say eat something which is organic, which does not have those impurities of sea that I talked about, which does not have microplastics, which does not have anti-caking agent, which does not have synthetic iodine into it, and it would be good too.
Can we buy this shower in US?
I would request Dr. Srinivas if he can help us. We are ready to send it. We have adequate. We produce close to lakhs of tons, even for the Indian community or otherwise, because we are export qualified. I have an import export certificate. I have a FDA certification. I have organic salt certification. If somebody, one of you, is keen enough to import in whatever manner, we'll be more than happy to send it for our brothers and sisters there who get benefited from a country-made organic thing, which is their own.
You said it's available on Amazon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we can buy it through Amazon.
Also, it has FDA certification, therefore it can be sold anywhere in United States, including Costco or the Amazon United States.
As of now, it's on Amazon India. They may not have put it on Amazon US because some of the products are limited to the country. So that's why we have got the FDA certification. And if a group accepts, we'll be ready to facilitate whatever is to be done from here. And little later, that group could think of, benefiting others in US if they are keen.
What about this Himalaya salt? Is better? Is good?
The Himalayan rock salt that you buy, which comes from Pakistan, what we know in our country as Sendha Namak or pink Himalayan rock salt, I would say in one line that if you want to eat that salt, dissolve it.
Okay.
And take out the insolubles and use saline water for cooking it. There's only way of eating it, which
So
is a big process to be done inside the house. So better is not to have that and eat the Himalayan rock salt, which is produced from India. Reason is what you do at home, we do it in our place and we give it to you something which is already in the best possible way.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Is there
Any
anyone?
more queries from anybody?
Excuse me, Sindhalu salt is better than sea salt. We are using in fast, high BP.
Which one is good for the high BP?
For all kinds of things, if you eat any organic salt, the shard salt that we're talking about is organic salt. It has no impact on high BP. Whereas any refined salt that you eat, WHO tells you that you should not take more than 5 grams or 6 grams of refined salt. There are no limitations for any organic salt, and there are no side effects or bad effects of any organic salt on the human body, even if they are suffering from hypertension, high BP, or things of that.
Where I can buy that one?
Yes.
Which salt is better? Which salt is better? Himalaya or?
Himalaya rock salt, as of now, as I said, since it is not dissolved and its insolvents or its heavy metals are not taking out, it is not the best salt. Whereas in our case, the shard salt, all the Himalayan rock salt from India, both these are better than the pink salt that comes from Pakistan.
So that has some impurity. You have to clean out before use.
Yes.
And that's a 84 minerals. And that's shard salt say 54 minerals.
That's right. Those numbers are fine, but if you never find chemical analysis given to you by any of the buyers, a list of 84 minerals with their percentages, nor would they ever tell you along with those minerals, they also give you heavy metals because this salt which they give you has not been dissolved in water and is simply taken from that particular mine. So whilst talking about the number of mineral 84 or 54 that we have, that is not much relevant. What is more important is that am I getting something which is bad for my health, and that is heavy metals. That is the insolubles which are not required, which will create havoc inside my system.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you, Kamlesh Ji, to coming to India home and giving such a vast knowledge of salt. As you said, like we never focus on these small things. And you showed beautifully the video of making black salt. We have never seen like before. And definitely it looks like a very good tourism place when we visit India, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Definitely we'll make a trip to your Sambar Lake place, and we will see how it makes. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming to India home and showing.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much to explain us. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you.
It was a pleasure. And
Yeah,
all of
namaste.
you.
Thank you.